Gunners Club for another one. I think this is going to get some feathers.
Plucking?
Feathers ruffle.
Oh, ruffling feathers.
Yeah, I think this might ruffle some feathers, this one. We're talking on whether military service should be compulsory. Compulsory military service. I've got a stand on it. I've got a point of view. Some people may not agree. But I've got a point of view. I think it should be. And it's not a matter of circumstances or religious belief or anything like that. I think it should be purely for self-discipline, which is lacking these days.
Yeah, big time.
Everywhere.
Yep.
An increase in self-esteem. People will really feel like they can and will achieve much bigger things than they would without military service.
Yeah, it gives you a sense of pride.
Oh, most certainly.
Yep.
Exactly. But anyway, that's my stand. You may have a different point of view on it, but I think it should. And there are countries out there currently that have compulsory military service that are doing exceptionally well.
Yeah. I mean, like most of you have fathers or some like you were served.
Yeah, yep.
Yep. But most people know somebody or have, and whether you're dad or grandfather. And like I was born in 75, so I grew up obviously not needing to be compulsorily getting that letter, but I grew up thinking, yeah, I'd fight for the country. I would do this. I would do that. It was still portrayed that that's what you did
That's
as
what
a male.
was expected.
Expected to be a patriot to your country. Yeah, it was expected, especially for males. Females had their roles, but it was, and that's why people enlisted lied about their age, because they were so gun-ho or excited to do it. Would today's kids do this? If it was compulsory today, would that stand? What part of the population would actually put their hand up if it wasn't compulsory?
I think those blue and pink haired people would probably not want to.
Yeah.
Just a guess, mind you.
Yeah.
I'm just putting it out there.
They may find a couple of hurdles.
Yeah. Oh, and even if by some chance they were made to,
Yeah.
I think they'd be a little bit offended.
Yeah. I'll come up.
by the way the training goes.
So, what countries have compulsory military service today?
Well, to my knowledge, as far as I can ascertain, Switzerland, South Korea. Oh, wow.
Israel.
Oh, yes, and of course, very topical, Israel.
Israel.
Yeah.
So you'd mentioned earlier that Switzerland is one of the best places to go, like to live.
Provided you meet their criteria, yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I've never been there.
They have a very strict policy on who can become a citizen.
Oh, okay. But if it's just a holiday?
Oh, no. Anyone can go for a holiday. That's not an issue. But
Yeah.
to become a citizen of
Live
Switzerland,
there.
they have
Very
very strict
strict.
conditions. Unlike here in Australia, where you don't even have to learn English.
Well, yeah, anyone can come over. Yep.
It's bloody ridiculous.
So, can you sort of find a connection between countries that have had the military style admission for their people where they have to sign up and where it is today? So is there a connection between the being forced into service and how the country stands today? So is it better for it? Is it a better nation? Is it safer? Are the people happier? I wonder if there's a connection there. So it's like the old school. If you've got a few friends and their dad was hard on them, yeah, those boys and girls tend to grow up very well behaved.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's right.
And if you have another group of friends where the parents did absolutely nothing to discipline their kids, you sort of tend to know where that ends up. They're a bit wayward.
Well, yeah, very much so. Very much so.
Shit bags.
But
Yeah.
that's one way of putting it.
Yeah.
To the first part of your question, and how very topical, because it's happening and it's all over the news at the moment, Israel,
Yeah.
I think they'd be in right shit if they didn't have those people to call on
Yeah.
at the moment.
Yep.
And keep in mind that in Israel, even after you've served, after you've done your time, you're not fully out of the military.
Oh, yeah.
You then get moved sideways, you're now a reservist.
Okay.
Whether you like it or not, there is no ifs or buts about that.
You have to be, yeah.
Yeah, you're a reservist.
Yep.
You're not on active duty.
Yep.
You're not going in every day
Yep.
doing the thing that they do.
You're on standby.
Pretty much.
Yep.
Exactly right.
Yep.
And how opportune at the moment.
Yeah, wow. Yes. Yep.
You know, they get a call.
Wow.
They're at home eating dinner, minding their own business, watching the news or watching their favourite soapy,
And
and the phone rings or someone shows up at their door saying, yeah, you got an hour, pack your shit.
the men in black knock on the door.
I think more likely men in green, but there you go. You got an hour, pack your shit
Yep.
and report to such and such because guess what, sunshine, you're needed.
Yep.
That's how it is.
Yep. How would that fare today? What do you reckon the kids of today? What do you reckon they'd do? You reckon they would sign up freely, or would they, go kicking and screaming?
Look, there is a cohort that are old school sympathies that would still sign. Well, here in Australia we don't have compulsory military service at all, and yet
Not at the
people
moment.
are still
Not at the
signing
moment.
up.
Yeah.
People are
Yeah.
still signing up, right?
Yeah. There is
They're
less and less
finding
numbers,
it harder and harder to fill
yeah,
the
finding-
slots
yeah,
that are
yeah,
empty,
Yeah.
and that's a fact.
We are getting people from overseas filling voids, big voids, even in the police force.
Yes, that's right.
Yep. We have Air Force, we have Navy, and Army.
That's right.
So I don't know the stats of what the intake is at the moment.
The Navy is very short. The Army is considerably short. The
Yeah.
Air Force, I don't have.
Yep.
I don't have
Yep.
stats
Okay.
on at all.
No. So, and that has to be a trend because of their way of life. We do have greater choices. You can say no for the time being. Who knows if it's going to change? I mean, there was a time you did get a letter in the mail. You had to go.
There is that saying, that hard times breed strong men. Strong men create good times.
That's it. Yeah, I've heard this one before.
And good times,
Create weak men.
correct.
And then weak men create hard times again.
Exactly
And
right.
I think we're in that era
Yes, very much.
where we're breeding the weak men, and it's going to be hard times again soon.
I think we're heading in that direction right
Yep.
now.
Yep. It's a cyclical thing. It's we haven't lived long enough to see the cycle, but I think it will come back. I think definitely we're going to see that hard times again. Who knows where we are?
And that's when you're going to be out there screaming, where's the hard men to protect us?
They've all been governed. They've all been restricted and governed, and it's sad to see.
And has it ever sort of sprung to your mind that the people who are governing us their family members somehow always manage to find a way to be exempt. Isn't that amazing?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're quite happy to send
Yeah.
the rest out to fight,
Yep.
so long as they don't have to.
Yeah. Why don't they make it compulsory for every politician's sons to enlist?
To be the first to enlist as
Yeah.
an example.
Yeah. To
How,
set the lead.
Now that
That would be a good discussion.
That would be so empowering for the people. That would be such an example that would get everybody to sign up on the spot.
Because if they believe it, well, the rest will believe it.
Yep, that's right.
Yep.
When they try and weasel out,
Yeah.
that's when
Yeah.
the problems start.
Yeah.
But anyway, back to the point. There are a lot of people who have concerns, let's say, as an example, on religious ground. I don't want to join the military, but army because that's what I'm familiar with, all right? I was in the army. I don't want to join the army because I have this belief that we shouldn't kill somebody, because I have this strong belief that you know, you should turn the other cheek, from the biblical quotes, that no one has a right to take another life. Okay, I can sympathise with those beliefs. And it's true. In a perfect world, nobody should take another life. And that's just right,
Yep.
as far as I'm concerned. So there are those places, even in the army, where you don't necessarily have to have a job where you
plenty of
are going to have to kill someone.
Plenty of other jobs.
Join the army.
Yep.
Be a medic.
The drivers.
Be a driver.
Yep.
Be a cook.
Yep.
Be a signaller.
There's plumbers. There's electricians. There's mechanics. So
That's right.
Every machine needs a mechanic.
Yeah.
There's tyre fitters. There's everything. Everyone always assumes that you're on the front line holding a gun.
Well, look, yeah, when you go in, well, again, I'm only talking army. When you go into the army, the first thing you're taught, doesn't matter what your job is, your first concern is that you're an infantryman. In other words, you have to know how to use your weapon.
Yeah, okay.
You're trained that you have to be able to use your weapon, but you may never have to. That's not the job you're doing. However, you may be called upon sometime.
Yep, fair enough.
In other words, if you choose not to pick up that weapon, if you choose to be a target, that's great. It's called self-defense, because just because you don't want to pick up that gun or that weapon doesn't say that the bloke looking at you over the fence from the other side has got the same feelings as you do.
Yeah. I mean, and there's a lot of innocent people that were enlisted, obviously under the compulsory laws, that you don't know the other guy that's pointing the gun at you either, and he's innocent too. There was a lot of innocent people that didn't want to join, and that's, I guess, part of the topic. Is it fair that if it's compulsory? Some people aren't born to fight. Some people don't have that in them. Just because they're of age doesn't mean they're going to be good at it. Some people just don't have the skill set and the mindset for it.
It's amazing how the military training gets you set for that.
Okay. Yep.
Yeah. Those that never would have believed that they can do such a thing, all of a sudden find that it's, wow,
yeah,
I don't believe I could do that, and here I am doing it.
Well, I've seen Saving Private Ryan.
There you go.
There was that one fumbling idiot that pissed his pants all the time. But yeah, I could see that. Like, my old man signed up in the RAAF purely for getting himself set straight. He knew he needed to be controlled, and that was just his own thoughts. He wasn't pushed into it, but he never looked back, and he retired in the same field. went up to Wing Commander, but yeah, he made his career out of it.
And did he sort himself out?
Yeah, he did. Yep.
So the military sorted him out as he hoped.
Yep, did what he wanted. Yep, and I no different from what I said earlier about your friends that were brought up with a hard-ass dad.
Yes.
You know, and put the size 10 up their ass and kicked them, smacked them in the line and said, you must do this, you must do that. No different. They all those kids grew up perfect. Well, military will do the same thing. Now, yes, it's not good and yes, it's not fun, but you will come out of it a different human.
Oh, my God,
and
yes.
better for it.
Most definitely. And it's a perfect segue to the next little section.
Yeah.
What about people on the dole? For those who don't know what we mean by dole, which means your unemployment benefit.
Centrelink.
There you go.
I think that's the new age.
Centrelink is what we call it here in Australia.
Yep.
Okay, but it's a dole. It's unemployment benefits. Let's muse for a moment. Let's say you've been looking for a job. Well, can't be looking too hard if you say, let's say you haven't found a job in, I don't know, 6 months.
Yep.
Let's say.
Yep.
You're a long-term.
Oh, sorry. No.
Long-term unemployed.
Yep.
Let's say. Why not
Sign them up.
Sign them up into the military?
Yeah. Well, to me, I think after 3 months, you're not looking hard enough. And if any sort of our services, meaning RAF, Army, Navy, yeah, why not? Why not sign them up and say, well, if you can't find a job within this amount of time, yep, you have to spend 6 months here.
Yeah.
One, it'll probably...
Well, look, even then, because we are, a caring and sharing type of society, we can say, well, you'll be cut off altogether,
Yeah.
or you join the service.
Yeah.
So it's not still
So
not necessarily
you're
compulsory.
giving them two options.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, well, you always,
Yeah. But if you want a handout, you just come here.
Yeah, if you want a handout, guess what, honey?
Yep.
It's no longer a handout. You actually got to work for it.
Yep. Yeah.
And that means you'll be trained.
I'm all for it.
You'll be trained. You'll be disciplined. So all of a sudden, you're not going to be sitting on your Xbox for 6 hours or 8 hours a day.
Yep.
Or watching, dare we say, YouTube.
No, you can do that on your just before you go to bed.
Oh, that's it, yeah. But you can actually get trained while you're getting paid.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yep.
You get discipline, you get self-esteem. You'll come out, and I kid you not, you will come out a different person.
Exhibit A.
Oh, may not be such a good exhibit. But, and again, for those that are saying, oh, but I don't want to kill people. Well, you don't have to. You will still have to learn how to, but you don't have to. There are other jobs out there. Medics, drivers, cooks, transport, you name it. There's infinite number of jobs that you can have.
There's more than that than the other.
Yeah. Correct. Yes.
Yeah. It's very in talking percentages wise, there's very little on the front line that are needed for that.
Yep.
There's more in the background that you don't see.
That's right. And while a conflict is not going on, you can be involved in, what do we got? Social services, bushfire relief, flood relief.
Yeah.
Bloody, you name it. You can be a driver for Meals on Wheels to get paid. Oh, they'll provide you, the cars, the trucks, the whatever the hell it is. But in other words, you got to work for it.
Yeah.
Not just sit there, stand in the dole queue to get your money.
Handouts.
Yeah.
Eventually, it's got to end. I think if we keep the handout the way it is, we're going to end up with a nation of people that are just
takers and not givers at all.
Yeah.
Yep.
Where does that lead? Who benefits from that?
Well, we're sort of seeing where it's heading right now.
Well, don't we all feel overtaxed, and we're just going to keep getting taxed to pay for these people that keep wanting the handouts? It just doesn't end.
That's right.
Yep.
Yeah. But hang on. And then they cry that, we're not getting enough handouts. We need more.
off.
Don't you hear them crying about that all the time? How can we live on this pittance of a handout?
Yeah.
No one's forcing you to live on the pittance of a handout. Get a job.
That's right. Yeah, there are plenty out there.
And all the other benefits that go along with being in the military. People don't even touch on that, and they should. Free dental, free medical.
Oh, yeah. Yeah,
all
true.
that.
Yep, yeah, good
Free
point.
housing, 3 meals a day,
Yep,
all paid for.
yep, true. Yep, I mean, my father was posted every few years, different around, put up in a house. Yep, got to travel. There are a lot of benefits to it like that too.
Long gone are the days when people used to say, join the army, see the world, meet lots of new people,
Yeah.
and then kill them.
Let's throw that in there.
It's not quite like that anymore. Tell us your thoughts. What do you think? Should compulsory military service of some sort come back, and not necessarily just to go to war, but for a national unity,
Yeah,
to bring people back together again? We've all gone through this. You'd be able to look back and say, we've done this, we've accomplished this.
yeah.
And yeah, I think so.
I think so too. I think it would be good for these generations coming forward. They won't know what hit them. They will be struggling.
No. There will be pain.
There'll be pain, but obviously there's a gain at the end.
Oh, a huge gain.
Huge gain.
I can attest to that.
And not only for a personal gain, but I think for the nation, it's required. We're heading in the wrong direction very fast. We need it.
Let us know what you think. We seriously want your opinion. There's going to be differing opinions. Some people are dead set against anything to do with military service.
Yep.
But there are upsides. There are huge upsides.
I think there are more upsides to the downsides of saying this is a democracy, this is not that. But to the way of life in the future, I think if everyone had a bit of military background,
Yes.
it'll benefit everyone individually, but as a nation, even more so.
Definitely.
Even more so.
Yep. Anyway, that's our bit. Let us know what you reckon. And don't forget, give us a like and a subscribe.
Cheers, guys.
Catch you on the next one.